Have you ever wondered about the Great Flood? Not just about Noah and the animals marching two by two, but about those who were left behind. It's a story we think we know, but the details left unsaid are often the most fascinating. Today we re-diving deep into one of history's greatest mysteries. Who watched as the Ark's door sealed shut? Picture this, a vast, arid landscape. For decades, a man named Noah and his family are building something impossibly huge. A vessel of staggering proportions, far from any sea. The locals would have seen it every day. At first, it was probably a curiosity, then a local joke. "Look at old Noah," they'd say, "building a boat in the desert. Has he gone mad?" They'd mock him, scorn his warnings of a world-cleansing rain. For 120 years, the construction continued, a silent, looming testament to a warning no one else believed. These people, the scoffers, the doubters, the ones who were just too busy with their own lives, they are the first and most obvious group left behind. The story portrays a world that had become corrupt, a society that had lost its way. Noah's project wasn't a secret, it was a spectacle. His warnings were not whispered, they were preached. Yet the vast majority of humanity simply went on with their lives. They married, they celebrated, they conducted business, completely oblivious to the impending doom. Their choice wasn't a single dramatic refusal. It was a million tiny decisions, a daily dismissal of a truth they found inconvenient or absurd. They represent the tragedy of apathy, the danger of ignoring a warning because it doesn't fit into our understanding of the world. Then there are the animals. The story is famous for the pairs of every kind that entered the ark. But what about the ones that didn't? While the text says pairs of all creatures came aboard, theologians and storytellers have often pondered this. Were there species that were simply not chosen? This opens up a world of symbolic interpretation. Some traditions suggest that certain creatures, symbolic of evil or chaos, were deliberately excluded. The serpent, for instance, a figure of deception from the Garden of Eden, is a prime candidate in many interpretations. Its exclusion would signify the purification of the world, a fresh start free from the original source of temptation. And what about mythical creatures? Think about it. Ancient cultures were filled with tales of dragons, unicorns, griffins, and giants. The Nephilim mentioned just before the flood narrative are described as the offspring of divine beings and human women, mighty men of old. Did they exist? And if so, were they on the ark? Their absence is deafening. The flood can be seen as a definitive end to this mythological age, a great reset that wiped the slate clean of these powerful, often chaotic beings. The world after the flood was meant to be a world for humans and the natural creatures we know today. The exclusion of these fantastical beasts would symbolize a firm line drawn between the old, wild magic and the new, ordered world. Let's shift our focus back to the human element, because that's where the true drama lies. Imagine the scene. Noah's family, the last ones to board, finally step inside. They've endured a century of ridicule. They've put their entire lives into this act of faith. Now the sky is darkening. The first drops of rain begin to fall. These aren't the gentle showers they're used to. They are heavy, ominous drops. The wind picks up, howling with a fury no one has ever experienced. The moment of truth arrives. The great door of the ark, a massive piece of gopher wood, begins to move. According to the text, it wasn't Noah who closed the door. God sealed it from the outside. This is a crucial detail. It signifies the finality of the decision. There are no last-minute pleas, no changing your mind. The opportunity has passed. The separation is complete. Outside, the mood would have shifted from mockery to confusion, then to panic. The light rain becomes a torrential downpour. The ground, once parched, turns to mud, then to puddles, then to streams. People would have scrambled for higher ground, clinging to their possessions to each other. The laughter has died, replaced by screams. They would have run to the ark, hammering on the sealed door, their voices lost in the roar of the storm. They now believed, but it was too late. The ark, once a symbol of Noah's supposed madness, was now their only hope, and it was forever beyond their reach. This image is haunting. It's the ultimate what if. What if they had listened? What if just one more family had taken Noah seriously? The story emphasizes the theme of choice and consequence. The people were not condemned without a chance. They were given a century-long warning in the form of the ark itself. Their fate was sealed not by a capricious deity, but by their own persistent disbelief. Beyond the literal interpretation, the story of those left behind is a powerful allegory. The ark represents a state of being, a path of faith or righteousness. Those outside represent all the forces, habits, and mindsets that hold us back from growth or salvation. Being left behind could mean being trapped in old patterns, refusing to change, or being unwilling to embrace a new way of thinking. The flood is the inevitable consequence, the natural outcome of staying in a place that is no longer sustainable. Think about the giants of old, the Nephilim. Their story is one of pride and power. They were mighty, but their strength may have been their downfall. By being too self-reliant, too confident in their own abilities, they saw no need for the ark. They were, in a sense, too big to be saved. They represent the pride that prevents us from acknowledging our need for help, from accepting a truth that might humble us. The story also resonates on a deeply personal level. We all have arcs we are called to build in our lives, projects, callings, or changes that require faith and long-term commitment. And we all face a crowd of doubters, both external and internal. The voices that say, "That's impossible, you're crazy," or "Why bother?" The story of the flood asks us a profound question. When the rains come, and they always do in one form or another, will we be inside the vessel we've faithfully built, or will we be outside, wishing we had listened to that quiet, persistent warning? The world that emerged after the flood was entirely new. The waters receded to reveal a clean, washed earth. It was a second chance for humanity, a new covenant. But this new beginning was only possible because the old world, with all its corruption, disbelief, and chaos, was left behind. The separation was absolute and necessary. The story of those who didn't make it onto the ark is not just a tale of destruction. It's a stark reminder of the importance of faith, the finality of choice, and the profound divide between what was and what was to come. It's a story that continues to challenge and captivate us, forcing us to ask where we stand when the storm clouds gather. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the past. What are your thoughts on this ancient mystery? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the deeper questions of history and myth, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. See you next time.